It's not right here in my notes. It's not right there in my notes. Look.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to start with Carlton this time. And I want you to tell me what are the disadvantages of the iPad, the device of your choice. What do you think some of the disadvantages?
Wow. It's interesting. I think one of the biggest disadvantages of the iPad is that I think for it to be effective, every student should have one. And if every student should have one, then there's going to be some costs involved. And so the disadvantage is that a lot of times every student won't have an iPad, and so you can't utilize it to the best abilities that the iPad could possibly bring. The other disadvantage again is the not safety but the security. And so, but the other thing I think about that is if everybody has an iPad, then it doesn't make sense to steal an iPad. So I think that's a good way to combat security, is to just give everybody an iPad and you have no reason to steal one. Any other, the battery lasts, pretty much all day, so there really aren't too many disadvantages. I mean, the screen could probably work a little brighter in the sunlight, but as long as you're holding class indoors, then it's not a problem.
Okay, so now the disadvantages of the interactive whiteboard technology.
Well, like Carlton mentioned, I think that one of the disadvantages is the cost. Your cost disadvantage is a little bit different than mine, but the upfront cost for the interactive whiteboard is it does outweigh the cost of the one iPad solution for a classroom, and unfortunately that is just the nature of the interactive whiteboard. It is costly, even though the software is integrated and you don't have to make a lot of purchases after the whiteboard is purchased, but it is more costly than the iPad option. And the other con is the portability. It's very strange that both of our cons are the same. The whiteboard cannot be moved around. It can be transferred to different learning spaces, but that also involves mounting and making sure that the projector and the whiteboard are positioned properly for proper functionality. So those are the two cons that I would have to point out for the interactive whiteboard.
And I would also like to add, with the iPad, you could have a mobile solution where you bring a projector and you have a projector in a bag, and they put your iPad in the bag, and then you also maybe carry around a portable screen, and then you can set up pretty much anywhere.
Yes, well, we all know that the way technology is going, mobile is the way everybody's trying to go right now. I believe that both of you have great pros and cons for both devices. I am an advocate for iPads, but I think some smart interactive technologies or interactive whiteboards are great also. One thing that my feeling on the subject is more training than anything else. I believe that if you're not trained, a lot of K through 12, they do have interactive whiteboards. However, they're teacher-centered because the teachers are not using them for the students, really. They're just using them to be interactive, but it's based on them and what they're doing. Whereas with iPads, you have no option but to be student-centered. And I think it pushes you to be more student-centered because it's so portable and mobile. But both of you had good views on it, and hopefully our audience will listen to what you say and decide which technology is best for them.
If I could just interject one additional point, I completely agree with you in reference to the training aspect, because I think that training for any technology that is used in the classroom is very important, and it has to be continually reinforced. One of the points that I found during my research is that if technology is too difficult for a faculty member to use, they will not use it. And I think that one of the pros for the smartboard is the fact that the software is integrated. You don't have to piecemeal software together in order to perform some of the functions that the smartboard just does with, or the interactive whiteboard just performs with the smart notebook software. Not to say that I want to assure you that I am not opposed to the use of the iPad in the classroom. I think it's an excellent tool for teaching and for learning. However, I think that it is a bit easier to use interactive whiteboard technology than it is to use the iPad in the classroom.
With that, I have two things. One, I've been using an interactive whiteboard for some years now, and I still can't figure out how to use this thing, even though I'm using it. So the interactive whiteboard is not as, I mean, there is a learning curve behind the software that can't be overlooked. But again, with regards to cost, again, I don't think would be anything worse than to buy some technology and then not have the proper training, and then for thousands and thousands of dollars just sit unused. And so that's all I have to say about that. But as for the difficulty of the iPad, it's so simple, a baby could use it.
And I think that I too use an iPad. However, we are technologically savvy. We have to take into account the various levels of technological knowledge of faculty members and of students as well. So
you're saying faculty members are not intelligent?
Not at all. I am saying that not all faculty members have the same level of knowledge when it comes to the use of technology. And furthermore, if a faculty member might use technology, but if they don't have a certain level of comfort with using technology, they will not use it in the classroom because they will feel that students have one up on them.
Yes.
And they will feel that they are not the leader per se in the classroom because the students are more knowledgeable than them. So that's why I say that I think that training piece is very, very important, and it doesn't matter whether it's with smart technology, interactive whiteboard technology, or the iPad in the classroom. The training piece is key, and I think that is probably the point that resonates through all of this.
I think so too.
And I think that maybe our next discussion might be on training.
It may.
All right.
Okay, I said that I would demo basically the difference between, just a few key differences between interactive whiteboard and using an iPad as an interactive whiteboard. Before we get to the iPad though, we'll look at the interactive whiteboard here. One of the things that you'll notice above, we have a projector. Here we have the screen, and over in the desk over here we have a computer which is running the operating system that you see in front of you. What you have with an interactive whiteboard, similar to this, sometimes you may see a projector, a short throw projector that comes out, projects onto the screen. This one, we have the projector mounted on the wall. Basically, you have pens that you can use, an eraser, so you can write. Each one of these pens must be placed in a proper spot on the board, and that corresponds to a color. So if I wanted to write on this, I pick up the blue pen if I want to write in blue, and I was just, let's say, doing a math equation, 4 plus 4 equals 8, and so we could demonstrate 4 plus 4 by doing, let's say, 4 of these circles plus another 4 of these circles, and then if we say equals, we draw circles on both sides, boom, 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 and then the next, and then we can count and we get our 8 circles. So that's how we would write with the interactive whiteboard. And if we needed to erase, we pick up the eraser and we erase. Okay, so all the pens have to be in the right slot in order for the right color to come up. The colors with this particular software, I believe, are preset. So we have blue, red, and green. And I'm not sure, I don't think we have any other colors to choose from. Over here, we have some other functionality that we can get from the board, such as highlighting and some other things, right and left mouse clicks, and I believe we can use our finger. I think we can use our finger to move things around, which is pretty nice. But one of the problems that we have here is I'm blocking the screen from the projector, so there's always going to be that shadow, plus I'm getting blinded by the projector. Another issue is that if I do want to write something on the board, my back is probably going to be to the classroom. Not that that's a big problem, but again, I'm blocking part of the screen, possibly from whoever's on my right side if I face this way. So those students over there won't be able to see what I'm writing. These students over here will be able to see what I'm writing. And as you can see, if I do switch positions, I don't normally write this way. So, but the problem is I still may block the board from students who are on the other side, and this is not my normal writing position, so it's uncomfortable. So those are some of the key points of the interactive whiteboard, and it does come with a lot of good software that allows you to run these things, and modules that you can use for different classroom activities. So that's a quick look at interactive whiteboards. Now we'll switch over to using the iPad.